Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm not working on anything. I'm just going to talk a little bit about a project that I've been working on for kind of my personal growth and kind of a learning some new skills. And I don't know, it's kind of an easy thing, but it's kind of a hard thing. So let's dive into this. Alright, so for the longest time I've wanted to learn how to TIG weld. I've been MIG welding for years. I'm no professional at it by any means, but it's something that I'm capable and comfortable with doing as needed. But my primary reasons are because I want to learn how to be able to weld aluminum. I want to be able to weld stainless steel, and in order to do that you have to be able to use a TIG. So that's kind of my point behind it. I know I could do spool gun and whatnot if need be, but I kind of wanted to get a little bit more in depth with it. And so I figured, you know, I'm getting a little bit older, and that one of the things they tell you is you want to keep your brain active, and so learning new skills, learning new things is kind of good for that, because it makes you exercise it a little bit and makes you think about what you're doing. So I went out and I spent a ton of money. Yeah. I wanted to at least get started in a way that I could figure out whether I was capable of learning how to do it, but you know how it is. So I went down and I spent all you can spend for $100 or so on the cheapest TIG welding machine that you can get at Harbor Freight. So yeah, I'll show you that here in a minute. Now, I wanted to do it on the cheap. I wanted to do it for what is it going to be for most of us that are doing this, because face it, you're only going to use this thing once in a great while, most likely. Until you get into doing it, you might, you know, for me, I might start doing other projects, and I've done a couple of other projects with my little MIG welder that I've got, but TIG's always been kind of one of those neat things, because I see what other people do with it, and I see the welds that they lay down with it, and you know, I'm very impressed. Now, I don't expect that I'm ever going to be that good with it, but I wanted to learn the process and learn what I need to know in order to make the process work. And so that's kind of what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. I bought a little burger machine from Harbor Freight. It was on sale for 99 bucks. I'm one of the whatever track club, inside track club members, and so I got it for cheaper. And so it was $99 for the machine, and then of course you have to buy consumables, you know, like wire and tips and tungstens and gas. I spent more money on my argon than I have. I could have bought 2 machines for 1 bottle of argon. I think it's somewhere in the $300 range for that, the bigger bottle. Fortunately, my local gas supplier is good to me. They offer a great military discount, and so they take care of me. We bought a lot of propane with them and bought a lot of other stuff with them, and so I'll probably wind up buying a better TIG machine down the road from them, and I think they know that, and so they took pretty good care of me. And so I did use. Well, hang on a minute. Let me grab some stuff, and I'll be right back and show you what I've got. Okay, so here's the machine that I got. It's the Burger MP135, and it's a multi-process machine. So with this one, I can TIG weld with it. It's a DC TIG, and so you can't weld aluminum with it. You can weld stainless steel with it and whatnot, but it's not the greatest. And so I know that I'll have to upgrade this machine eventually in order to be able to weld aluminum. And so when I do that, then this machine will go back to being just a flux core only welder that I've got here at the shop, or if I need an arc welder, I can use this one. But the next machine I buy is going to be another multi-process machine, but it's going to be a lot more capable, because I want an AC DC machine, and I want it to have the high frequency and all that good stuff. But I already know that now. I didn't really know that to begin with, and so I've learned a lot in this process so far. And so then I went out to Amazon and I ordered it's a thulium, and because I didn't realize that gas lens kit would be helpful to me until after I bought this machine. And so of course gas lens kit is something that the gas lens helps disperse the gas in a more even flow, and so you get better welds, more stability with the arc, and all those good things. And so, hey, that's great, I'm learning. And then I read that these tungsten tips, you want the lanthanated blue is a good beginner tip, and so, or a beginner tungsten. And so I bought a pack of these. I got the double sizes. I got the 1.6 and the 2.4. So that helps me for higher amperages and whatnot. And I'm learning what the amperage settings are on the different things that you do. So this is kind of a cool thing. And like I said, I'm learning in the process. But that's what I've got machine-wise. You know, that bottle sitting right there was something close to $300. It's 100% argon. So those are the things that you're going to need, whether you know it or not, whether you've ever done it or not. But now I want to talk about some of the safety things that I've learned and some of the safety stuff that I've got going on, and kind of a neat deal. All right, so for those of you that are aware, already know that with welding there's a lot of gases, and there's a lot of like some of the welding, the tungsten and everything, they're heavy metals, and so you got to be careful with those anyway. So grinding those things and doing all that stuff and grinding, I'll get into that in a minute. But you don't want to breathe the stuff in, even with the MIG welding. So I went ahead and went onto Amazon and got one of these 3M. It's the little mask, what are the 2097 filters. And so these fit underneath my welding hood relatively well. And they do a good job of filtering out a lot of the crap that you don't want to get into your lungs. And so that's one of the safety things that I use, and it's highly recommended, and I recommend it too. Good pair of gloves, and these are the welding gloves that I've had for probably 30 years. I've used them with my little MIG machine that I've got. And then before I went this route, I knew I needed a new helmet anyway, and so I went out and bought the Yes Welder auto darkening and all that good stuff. And it's a pretty nice hood. It's comfortable, has room for my filters, my mask to be underneath it, and auto darkens, and really kind of a cool thing. But you got to take care of your eyes, protect your hands. I've got a welding shirt. It's a long sleeve shirt, so long sleeve shirt. I wear long pants when I weld, and everything that I can do to try to do the best at protecting myself for, you know, as best I can. I know there's some of those masks that they've got, the fresh air and everything else, but those things are expensive. And for doing a hobbyist type of thing like what I do and what most of us do, it's kind of out of reach, honestly. Now, if I was doing this commercially, or if I was working someplace commercially, there's zero doubt that I would have whatever it takes to protect myself while I'm doing it. But in the shop here, do the best I can. I pay attention to ventilation, make sure that air's moving around and all those good things. Eventually I'm going to build a downdraft fan and filter for this table that'll sit underneath, and then I can pipe it out the window, and so that'll suck all that good stuff outside, and I won't even have to worry about it at all, hopefully. Or at least it'll reduce it significantly. As far as safety goes, that's kind of about where I'm at. Anytime I'm grinding or anything like that, I've got a face shield, and or I've got a pair of safety glasses, or always close at hand. I do believe in safety, and I don't mind that some of you out there have reminded me on different things that, you know, hey, take your rings off when you're doing this stuff. Hey, take your watches off. You know, all those things that make sense when you're doing stuff, working around these tools that can really hurt you if you're not careful. Don't give them something else to hurt you with. Typically, I'll wear, when I'm doing stuff with that, I'll change over to one of the rubber wedding rings, because face it, I love my wife. I don't really feel comfortable. I don't like not having my ring on, so it's kind of one of those things. Call me weird, but she's pretty damn good to me. So that's kind of the safety stuff. That's kind of where I'm at with that. And let me kind of show you what I did, because grinding tungsten, the first tungstens that I was grinding, I was using my grinder over there. It's the same grinder that I use for everything else. And I haven't bought a dedicated grinder yet for tungsten, so let me show you what I set up and how I'm grinding my tungstens, just to keep the grinding wheel separate from any other metals and contaminants that are on there. All right, never mind the mess that my bench is, and I'm not grinding with the MAP gas sitting right there either, so don't worry about that. I just had it out for something else and haven't put it back away yet. I took one of my old Dremels, still works great, but I took one of the grinding wheels, and that's all I'm using that wheel for, is grinding tungsten. And keeps it clean. I can use the end of it. I turn it around this way so that the wheel is spinning basically towards me instead of away from me at the top, and so that I can get the right angle on the tungsten tip, or at least that I think I can. It's been pretty good. It's working out all right. So that's that part of it, and that was something that I learned by watching some other videos. The contaminants and stuff, I could see different things happening in my welds when I was practicing with my tungsten, or practicing with the TIG. I could see things that were doing weird stuff, and I was like, why the heck is it doing that? I have no idea. So let me go back over there and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay, so it won't focus on it like I want it to. Maybe if I do that it will. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm getting out of my grinding on my tips so far. I know there's various angles that you can use to do different things with, but I just need it to be a pretty sharp point, and I'm not welding a whole long time with it, so I figure so far so good. I'm going to learn more as I go along, just like one would expect to. So if you guys want to see more updates on this stuff later on down the road, let me know. All right, so let me see if I can kind of get close enough. These are welds that I did. Let's see if you can even see those. You get a little different angle where you can see a little bit better. But these little ones are ones that I did with no filler rod. I didn't add anything to it. Basically, I just melted the metal and did that with it, and you can basically use it to tack and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And then this ugly other stuff right over here, yeah, that was practicing using filler rod, and I have a long ways to go, but if I keep it up, I'll get there. This was a push rod that I welded to it to see kind of how it looked, and really if I needed to just weld the push rod to something without having to worry about what it looked like, then I did a great job. But you know, kind of not a great weld. But like I said, these little ones here, those are literally some of the first TIG welds that I've done. I tried to weld a little bit of rebar and stuff that I got, and I wasn't getting it clean enough, and so that's something that I learned. You know, I'm seeing what the characteristics of the weld are and characteristics of the arc and that whole 9 yards. What is it doing? And couldn't figure it out, so I'd go watch a YouTube video, and somebody would say, well, you know, you got to clean it up more and all that good stuff. And I have I've been watching some of the welding Reddits, and man, I'm learning a lot more stuff from all of, well, essentially everyone else out there, and that's one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion. Let me set the camera back up on the tripod so I can talk just a little bit more. I know that's what you want to hear. All right, so that's what I've been up to lately, a little bit on the side, trying to figure stuff out, trying to learn and teach myself a few things. For those of you, if you've watched this far and you've done this before, feel free to chime in and give me some suggestions, give me some feedback on what I should be doing, and hopefully together we can figure it out. I know some of you guys out there, and gals, are really good at this stuff. I know, I've seen the work that you're doing, and so if you're watching this, please help a guy out so I can try to get better at it. Understand, I'm not trying to go out and weld the world. I'm just trying to do the little projects that I've got going on around here that could use a little bit nicer of a weld. So that's really it. If any of you have any questions about the equipment that I bought so far, or what I'm doing, you know, how I'm setting it up or anything else, by all means let me know. If you want to see more of me trying to do this stuff, I'll try to set up a camera and do a little bit of welding and whatnot. I don't know how it comes through on the GoPros, because GoPros are really kind of, they're kind of trash cameras that they haven't grown up when everybody else has. And so that's what I've got invested in all of my cameras is GoPros. So until I go to something different, this is what I'm stuck with. Anyway, that's that. I am going to show some projects later on of things that I'm doing, things I'm working on, maybe even that's TIG weld projects and other stuff like that. But for now, this is kind of where I'm at, and I thought I would just take a few minutes to share with you guys to show you what I'm doing, and maybe have a little bit of a discussion in the comments below. Tell me what you think. I got to remember to turn on my community. I guess that's something that in YouTube I don't have turned on, is my community, so that you can communicate. I guess that's kind of a neat thing. I should try to figure out how to do that, but yeah, I don't think about it when I'm actually on the computer. So anyway, I'm going to shut up and let you guys get out of here. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for any comments, feedback, support, all those kind of things that you provide. And all you smart folks out there, don't beat me up too bad. I'm trying to learn how to do this, so I'm not giving advice. I'm taking it. But hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching Yellow Jacket Garage. And if you haven't already done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Like, it helps the algorithm. And share if you know somebody else that needs a laugh at how I'm doing this thing. But anyway, again, thanks for being here, and as always, we'll see you on down the road.